Welcome to Artificial Fictions. We post new scary stories every day written by artificial intelligence. I hope you enjoy them. Once upon a time, in a small, secluded village nestled deep within the heart of a dense forest, there stood an old, dilapidated house. Its crooked shutters seemed to whisper secrets, and its faded paint reflected the haunting tales that surrounded its existence. Locals spoke of it in hushed tones, warning others to steer clear, for they believed an eerie presence dwelled within its decaying walls. A curious young woman named Emily, undeterred by the village's warnings, decided to investigate the house's legends. Determined to unravel its mysteries, she ventured into the forest one moonlit night, her heart pounding with anticipation. With each step closer to the house, the air grew colder, and the surrounding woods fell eerily silent. As Emily cautiously pushed open the creaking door, an icy draft engulfed her, chilling her to the bone. The house's interior lay shrouded in darkness, save for the flickering glow of a single dim light bulb. Shadows danced along the walls, casting menacing shapes that seemed to move of their own accord. Undeterred by the growing unease, Emily pressed on. She ascended the staircase, her footsteps echoing ominously in the empty house. The second floor loomed before her, and as she reached the landing, a chilling whisper brushed against her ear, causing her skin to crawl. "Get out," the voice hissed, barely audible yet filled with undeniable malice. Goosebumps prickled Emily's arms as her heart raced. Ignoring the warning, she bravely forged ahead, her determination unwavering. The third floor proved to be the house's heart of darkness. The atmosphere grew thick with a suffocating sense of dread. A cold mist slithered along the floor, enveloping Emily's feet. She strained her eyes to pierce through the darkness, and in the corner she caught a glimpse of a pair of glowing, malevolent eyes. They fixated on her with an intensity that sent shivers down her spine. Fear gnawed at Emily's resolve, but her burning curiosity propelled her further. She entered the room, and the door slammed shut behind her, trapping her within. Panic gripped her chest as the walls began to close in, closing off any escape. Desperate, she clawed at the suffocating darkness, her breaths becoming labored. Just as all hope seemed lost, the room suddenly fell silent. The walls ceased their advance, and the door swung open. Emily stumbled out into the hallway, gasping for air, but her relief was short-lived. The house transformed before her eyes. It twisted and contorted, morphing into a grotesque maze, its corridors shifting with a cruel sense of purpose. Every path she took led to dead ends, trapping her within its horrific grasp. The walls pulsated, their vile energy suffocating her, and the distant wails of tortured souls echoed through the halls. Emily's mind began to fray, her sanity hanging by a thread. Shadows took form, writhing creatures that slithered along the floor and ceiling, whispering their tormenting secrets into her ears. The air turned putrid, and Emily's every breath tasted of decay. Finally, in the depths of her terror, Emily stumbled upon a small, hidden door. She pushed it open, praying for salvation. To her dismay, the door revealed a void of infinite darkness. It pulled at her, a relentless force threatening to consume her very essence. With her final ounce of strength, Emily turned away from the door, refusing to succumb to the abyss. As she fled from the house, the forest itself seemed to sigh in relief, releasing her from its malevolent clutches. Emily emerged from the forest, her body trembling and her spirit shaken to its core. She stumbled back into the village, a shell of her former self, her wide eyes reflecting the horrors she had witnessed. The villagers, who had long warned against the house, now saw the devastating toll it had taken on the young woman. But the story did not end there. As night fell upon the village, a sinister presence seeped through the cracks in the houses and the minds of the inhabitants. The once peaceful streets became cloaked in an unnatural darkness, and the air grew heavy with an unrelenting malevolence. Whispers of the haunted house's curse spread like wildfire, awakening a dormant evil that hungered for souls. The villagers found themselves trapped in their own personal nightmares, tormented by phantoms and plagued by their deepest fears. Desperate pleas for mercy fell upon deaf ears as the relentless horror enveloped their lives. Emily, burdened by guilt, refused to stand idly by. She resolved to confront the sinister force that had been unleashed upon the village. Armed with newfound determination, she embarked on a perilous quest to break the curse and release her fellow villagers from their torment. Guided by a cryptic journal she had discovered within the haunted house, Emily sought out ancient rituals and long-forgotten incantations. She delved deep into the realm of the occult, facing terrifying trials and sacrilegious rites that pushed her to the edge of her sanity. With each step, the horror escalated. The village itself seemed to conspire against her, twisting into a macabre playground of nightmares. The streets contorted into grotesque shapes, buildings pulsated with an otherworldly energy, and the moon, once a comforting presence, now glared down with a haunting gaze. Emily's mind teetered on the brink of madness, her soul worn thin by the relentless onslaught of terror. But in her darkest hour, she discovered a glimmer of hope, an ancient artifact that held the key to the curse's demise. Armed with this newfound weapon, she made her way to the heart of the village where the malevolent force lay in wait. In a climactic battle between light and darkness, Emily faced the embodiment of all her fears. The entity, born from the depths of the cursed house, unleashed a torrent of nightmares upon her, determined to consume her completely. But Emily, fueled by her love for her village and an unwavering resolve, fought back with every ounce of strength she had left. In a blinding burst of light, Emily shattered the curse, banishing the malevolence back to the depths from whence it came. The village, once trapped in a perpetual nightmare, was freed from its clutches, and the haunting house crumbled to dust, its evil essence forever extinguished. The villagers, released from their tormented existence, slowly began to rebuild their lives. Emily, hailed as their savior, carried the weight of her harrowing journey, forever changed by the darkness she had faced. Though scars marred her spirit, she emerged as a symbol of resilience, reminding all who heard her tale that even in the face of unimaginable horror, the human spirit could triumph. And so the village stood as a testament to the indomitable nature of the human soul, a reminder that even in the darkest of nights, the light of courage and hope would guide them forward. The haunting tale of the cursed house would forever be etched in their memories, a chilling reminder to tread carefully in the realm of the unknown. In the heart of a desolate town, hidden amongst a barren landscape, stood an abandoned asylum. Its decaying walls exuded an aura of madness and despair, its broken windows like vacant eyes peering into the souls of those who dared to venture near. Locals whispered of the unspeakable horrors that had unfolded within its grim halls, warning others to steer clear. Amelia, a thrill-seeker with an insatiable curiosity, scoffed at the tales of terror. Determined to uncover the asylum's secrets, she embarked on a moonlit journey, her heart pounding with a mixture of excitement and trepidation. The wind howled as she pushed open the asylum's heavy, rusted doors, its hinges groaning in protest. Inside, darkness consumed every corner, broken only by the pale glow of the moon casting eerie shadows. The air was heavy, laden with the stale scent of decay. Amelia cautiously made her way through the labyrinthine corridors, her footsteps echoing ominously, as if accompanied by whispers from the forgotten past. The first floor revealed a chilling glimpse into the asylum's history. Rusty medical instruments littered the floors, and tattered straitjackets hung from the walls like morbid tapestries. The lingering echoes of tortured cries seemed to reverberate through the air, sending shivers down Amelia's spine, yet she pressed on, driven by an insatiable desire for answers. As she ascended the stairs to the second floor, the atmosphere thickened with an overwhelming sense of dread. Shadows danced along the walls, their sinister movements mirroring the tormented souls that once resided there. Amelia's heart raced as she caught glimpses of ghostly apparitions drifting through the corridors, their hollow eyes fixed on her with silent accusation. Undeterred, Amelia ventured deeper into the asylum's bowels. The third floor became a macabre chamber of horrors. The air turned suffocating as if an invisible hand clenched around her throat. Malevolent whispers filled her ears, taunting and tormenting her sanity. Each step felt like wading through quicksand, as if the very fabric of reality sought to ensnare her. Rooms lined with padded walls held the remnants of lost souls. Amelia's every footfall seemed to awaken the lingering spirits, their tortured moans echoing through the halls. Disembodied laughter rang out, growing louder and more deranged with each passing moment. The walls pulsed with a sickening energy, threatening to consume Amelia's very essence. But she persisted, determined to uncover the truth. The fourth floor beckoned her with a magnetic pull, promising answers in its darkest recesses. The walls dripped with an oozing darkness, suffusing the air with an unholy stench. The floor seemed to shift beneath her feet, an ever-changing maze designed to ensnare her. Amelia's mind teetered on the precipice of madness, her every breath laced with desperation. Shadows twisted and writhed, taking grotesque forms that stalked her every move. Her presence had awakened an ancient evil, one that hungered for her soul. As she reached the heart of the fourth floor, a sinister presence manifested before her, an embodiment of pure malevolence. It loomed over her, a grotesque amalgamation of nightmares, its eyes glowing with a malevolent fire. The asylum itself seemed to convulse, walls closing in with a relentless determination. The very fabric of reality shattered, revealing a nightmarish void that threatened to consume everything. In a final act of defiance, Amelia unleashed a weapon she had discovered, a relic steeped in ancient power. With a surge of raw determination, she struck at the heart of the malevolent entity, unleashing a blinding surge of light. The asylum trembled, its foundations cracking under the weight of the unleashed power. A cacophony of screams and anguished cries filled the air as the entity writhed in agony, its form dissipating into ethereal wisps. As the darkness retreated, Amelia stumbled out of the crumbling asylum, her body battered and her spirit shattered. The town, once overshadowed by the asylum's cursed presence, was free from its grip. The air became lighter and a glimmer of hope danced in the eyes of the townspeople. However, their respite was short-lived. In the days that followed, a new malevolence settled upon the town, darker and more insidious than anything they had ever encountered. Strange occurrences plagued the once peaceful streets. Unexplained whispers echoing through the night, ominous symbols etched into the walls, and chilling apparitions that materialized in the corners of terrified onlookers' eyes. The nightmares that had plagued the asylum now seeped into the fabric of the town, infecting the minds of its inhabitants. Sleep became a realm of torment as vivid horrors spilled over into waking hours. Sanity crumbled, and the line between reality and delusion blurred beyond recognition. Amelia, burdened by guilt for the horrors she had unleashed, realized that her journey was far from over. She embarked on a desperate quest to uncover the source of the town's new nightmare. Armed with ancient texts and her dwindling resolve, she delved deeper into the darkness, determined to set things right. Her path led her to an ancient burial ground on the outskirts of town, a forgotten site where the restless spirits of the past found their eternal rest. Beneath the moonlit sky, she performed a ritual, an act of redemption and sacrifice, in an attempt to pacify the vengeful souls that haunted the town. But the ritual had unintended consequences. As Amelia chanted the ancient incantation, a surge of malevolent energy erupted from the ground. The buried souls, now twisted and corrupted by centuries of anger and pain, rose from their graves, their hollow eyes fixated on Amelia, their tormented voices joining together in a symphony of wrath. They descended upon the town, an ethereal army of despair, their wails piercing the night. The once thriving streets were reduced to a desolate wasteland as the spectral horde exacted their revenge, feeding on the fear and suffering of the living. Amelia, consumed by guilt and despair, pleaded for forgiveness, but her words were lost amidst the cacophony of anguish. The town's fate was sealed, forever condemned to the torment she had unwittingly unleashed. And so, the once promising town became a forgotten realm of darkness, its twisted streets forever haunted by the souls of the vengeful dead. The tale of Amelia's misguided quest echoed through the years, a chilling reminder of the consequences that await those who tamper with forces beyond their comprehension. To this day, the town stands as a cautionary tale, a testament to the irreparable horrors that lie in the depths of human curiosity. The darkness that enveloped it serves as a grim reminder that some nightmares can never truly be banished, and that the greatest terror often lies within ourselves. In a forgotten village nestled deep within the mist-shrouded mountains, an ominous legend resided. The tale spoke of a cursed artifact hidden within an ancient temple that lay abandoned at the peak of the tallest peak. Its dark power was said to unleash unspeakable horrors upon any who dared to seek it. Undeterred by the ominous whispers that echoed through the village, a young archaeologist named Benjamin set out on a perilous quest to uncover the truth behind the legend. Armed with determination and a thirst for knowledge, he braved the treacherous path, his heart pounding in his chest as he ascended the unforgiving mountain. As Benjamin reached the summit, the wind howled with an eerie resonance, chilling him to the bone. The temple, a foreboding structure of weathered stone, loomed before him. Its crumbling facade revealed centuries of neglect, a testament to the terror that lay within. Undeterred, Benjamin pushed open the heavy doors, the sound of their reluctant protestation sending shivers down his spine. The air within the temple was heavy, laden with a suffocating stillness that spoke of forgotten horrors. Shadows danced upon the walls, whispering secrets that taunted the edges of Benjamin's sanity. The first chamber revealed ancient relics, their faded grandeur a testament to a forgotten civilization. Yet a lingering unease settled upon Benjamin's shoulders, a weight that grew heavier with each step. The artifacts, once symbols of prosperity, now seemed tainted with an indescribable darkness. With trepidation, Benjamin descended further into the depths of the temple. The second chamber unveiled cryptic murals that depicted scenes of suffering and despair. The air grew colder, and whispers seemed to emanate from the very walls themselves. The murals appeared to come alive, twisted figures crawling across the stone, their malevolent gazes fixed upon Benjamin. Fear clawed at his mind, but his determination drove him deeper into the heart of the temple. The third chamber revealed a labyrinth of corridors, twisting and turning like the tendrils of a nightmarish beast. The walls seemed to breathe, pulsating with a rhythmic malevolence. Whispers grew louder, mingling with Benjamin's own breath as they threatened to consume him. Lost within the labyrinth, Benjamin's footsteps echoed with a hollow dread. Every turn led to a new terror, each corridor an endless path of confusion. Time became distorted, the hours melting into an eternal night, trapping Benjamin within the temple's claustrophobic embrace. As his sanity teetered on the edge of collapse, Benjamin stumbled upon a chamber unlike any he had seen before. The air grew thick with an acrid stench, and a deep guttural growl reverberated through the chamber, rattling his very bones. Trembling, he raised his flickering torch, illuminating the horror that awaited him. In the center of the chamber stood a grotesque creature, its twisted form a fusion of nightmare and reality. Its eyes glowed with an unholy light, its jagged claws dripping with a black, viscous fluid. The creature exuded an aura of pure malevolence, its presence suffocating the air and freezing Benjamin's blood. With a feral snarl, the creature lunged at Benjamin, teeth bared and claws slashing. Benjamin fought back, his heart pounding with a desperate survival instinct. But the creature's strength was otherworldly, its relentless assault a testament to the darkness that had consumed the temple. Just as Benjamin's strength waned and hope dwindled, he caught sight of a glimmer amidst the chaos, a hidden lever concealed within the chamber's depths. With a surge of desperation, Benjamin lunged toward the lever, his fingers grasping at its worn surface. As he pulled it, a deafening rumble filled the chamber, shaking the very foundations of the temple. The walls cracked and crumbled, revealing a blinding burst of light that surged through the chamber, banishing the creature back into the abyss from whence it came. Gasping for air, Benjamin stumbled out of the crumbling temple, his body bruised and his spirit shattered. But as he emerged from the darkness, he realized that the horror was far from over. The village, once nestled beneath the shadow of the cursed temple, now stood consumed by an even greater evil. The curse, released from its ancient prison, spread like a malignant plague. Darkness cloaked the village, twisting its buildings and corrupting its inhabitants. The once familiar faces of the villagers transformed into grotesque masks of terror, their eyes vacant and filled with an insatiable hunger. Benjamin, burdened with guilt and remorse, vowed to make amends. He embarked on a desperate journey to undo the curse he had unwittingly unleashed. Armed with fragments of forbidden knowledge and the weight of his mistakes, he delved into the realm of forbidden rituals and ancient incantations. But with each ritual, the horror intensified. The boundary between the living and the dead blurred, as vengeful spirits materialized, their anguish palpable. Shadows slithered along the village streets, whispering macabre promises and preying upon the villagers' deepest fears. Nightmares weaved their way into reality, twisting the minds of the innocent and driving them to madness. Benjamin's own sanity hung by a fragile thread as he faced spectral apparitions and malevolent entities. His body grew frail, his once vibrant spirit diminished by the weight of his quest. Yet he refused to relent, driven by a flickering hope that salvation still awaited. In his darkest hour, Benjamin unearthed a tome of forbidden knowledge, said to hold the key to breaking the curse. The pages were etched with cryptic symbols and whispered incantations, their words crawling off the page like serpents. With trembling hands, he recited the incantation, his voice quivering with both fear and determination. In an instant, the ground beneath the village trembled, as if the very earth rebelled against the darkness that plagued it. A blinding light burst forth, engulfing the village in a cleansing fire. The curse, weakened and disoriented, writhed and recoiled, its malevolence no match for the power of Benjamin's newfound resolve. And as the light faded, the village emerged from the ashes of despair. The curse shattered and scattered, dissipated into the ether. The villagers, released from their nightmarish prison, took tentative steps towards healing and restoration. The scars of the horror they endured would forever mark their souls, but they found solace in the strength they discovered in their darkest moments. Benjamin, forever marked by his fateful journey, became a guardian of the village, a beacon of hope in the face of unimaginable terror. He stood as a reminder that even in the face of overwhelming darkness, the human spirit could rise above and conquer the shadows that threatened to consume it. But the tale of the cursed temple would forever linger, etched into the collective memory of the village, a chilling reminder of the dangers that lie within forbidden knowledge and the consequences of succumbing to the allure of ancient evils. And as the generations passed, the legend would serve as a cautionary tale, ensuring that the horrors of the past were never repeated. In the heart of a dense forest, shrouded by an eternal fog, stood an old, dilapidated mansion. Its decaying walls were adorned with eerie ivy, snaking their way up like serpents of darkness. The mansion had a sinister reputation, whispered tales of hauntings and unspeakable horrors that drove even the bravest souls to shudder in fear. Undeterred by the warnings, a group of friends decided to spend a night within the mansion, lured by the thrill of the unknown. They gathered at the mansion's creaking front door, their hearts pounding with a mixture of excitement and trepidation. As they stepped inside, the heavy door slammed shut behind them, sealing their fate within the walls of the mansion. The air grew heavy and oppressive, suffused with a palpable sense of malevolence. Each step echoed through the grand hall, resonating with a haunting emptiness. The flickering candlelight cast dancing shadows on the walls, their movements mimicking the twisted secrets buried within the mansion's dark history. The friends explored the first floor, their footsteps muffled by the plush carpet. The atmosphere intensified with each room they entered, as if unseen eyes followed their every move. Creaking floorboards and whispers from forgotten spirits filled their ears, raising the hair on the back of their necks. As they ascended the grand staircase to the second floor, the sense of foreboding deepened. The portraits lining the walls appeared to watch their every move, their painted eyes filled with a haunting melancholy. Strange drafts of cold air brushed against their skin, leaving trails of icy fingers in their wake. In the dimly lit rooms of the second floor, the friends encountered spectral apparitions, their ethereal forms flickering in and out of existence. The air crackled with static energy, causing their skin to prickle with unease. Whispers grew louder, tormenting their sanity with fragmented words of despair and anguish. Refusing to succumb to fear, the friends pressed on, venturing into the third floor, the forbidden sanctuary of the mansion. The air became stagnant and the temperature plummeted to bone-chilling depths. A pervasive sense of dread hung in the air, constricting their chests and threatening to overwhelm their resolve. As they explored the third floor, the veil between the living and the dead grew thin. Shadows writhed and twisted, contorting into monstrous shapes that threatened to consume them. Unearthly wails echoed through the halls, reverberating with the tormented cries of lost souls. But the true horror awaited them in the attic. As the friends climbed the narrow stairs leading to the attic, the mansion's malevolent presence intensified. The air grew thick with an indescribable evil, causing their breath to hitch and their hearts to race. The walls seemed to close in, suffocating their spirits and filling their minds with a suffocating darkness. In the attic's dimly lit chamber, a chilling sight greeted them, a circle of flickering candles surrounding an ancient tome. The book emanated a sinister aura, its leather-bound cover etched with arcane symbols. The pages whispered promises of forbidden knowledge, tempting the friends with the possibility of unlocking the mansion's darkest secrets. But as they approached the tome, an otherworldly presence materialized. A figure draped in tattered black robes, its face obscured by shadows. The air turned icy and a bone-chilling voice reverberated through the attic, promising eternal suffering to those who dared trespass upon its domain. Panic seized the friends as they realized the dire consequences of their actions. Desperation clung to their trembling bodies as they made a futile attempt to escape the attic, but the doors slammed shut, trapping them within the clutches of the malevolent entity. The figure advanced toward them, its steps slow and deliberate, emanating an aura of pure terror. With each passing moment, the entity's form shifted, contorting into a grotesque amalgamation of nightmares. Its eyes glowed with a malevolent light, its outstretched hands dripping with an unearthly darkness. Fear paralyzed the friends, their screams stifled by the suffocating atmosphere. One by one, the entity claimed its victims, their terrified pleas falling on deaf ears. The friends watched in horror as their companions were consumed by an abyss of despair, their life force drained until all that remained were empty shells of their former selves. As the last survivor stood, trembling and on the verge of madness, a wicked smile curled across the entity's face. It reveled in the despair it had wrought, reveling in the shattered hopes and broken spirits of the lost souls within its clutches. But as the survivor teetered on the edge of surrender, a glimmer of defiance flickered within their eyes. With a surge of courage fueled by desperation, they reached deep within themselves, summoning a strength they never knew existed. Channeling the remaining shreds of their will, the survivor unleashed a burst of raw energy, forcing the entity back with an otherworldly force. The mansion groaned and trembled, its very foundation protesting against the battle of light and darkness taking place within its walls. The survivor seized the opportunity and bolted toward the attic's entrance. The entity, enraged by its resistance, pursued with a fury that shook the very fabric of the mansion. The walls cracked, ceiling debris rained down, but the survivor pressed on, driven by an unwavering determination to survive. At the threshold of the attic, just as the survivor was about to make their escape, the entity reached out, its spectral fingers grazing their shoulder. The survivor fought against the ethereal grip, their strength fading until with one final surge they broke free, tumbling down the stairs, narrowly escaping the clutches of the entity. As the survivor stumbled out of the mansion, they turned back to see the mansion consumed by a cataclysmic force, collapsing into itself, taking the malevolent entity with it. The ground shook and the very forest seemed to exhale a sigh of relief as the darkness dissipated. The survivor, battered and forever scarred by the horrors they had witnessed, emerged as the lone witness to the mansion's malevolence. They carried the weight of the lost souls within them, forever haunted by their cries and the darkness that had attempted to consume them. From that day forward, the survivor became a harbinger of the mansion's cautionary tale, warning others of the insidious evil that lurked within its walls. The legend of the cursed mansion grew, its name whispered with dread, serving as a chilling reminder that some horrors are best left undisturbed. And as the survivor ventured forth, forever changed, they carried the echoes of the entity's malevolence, a constant reminder that even in the face of unspeakable darkness, the flicker of resilience and the power of the human spirit can prevail. In a small town shrouded by ancient forests, an old decrepit mansion stood on a hill. It was a place of legends, whispered tales of a curse that plagued anyone who dared to set foot inside. The mansion's crumbling walls seemed to ooze with a malevolent energy, and its haunted reputation drew the curiosity of a brave young woman named Emily. Driven by a thirst for adventure, Emily ventured alone into the mansion one fateful evening. The door creaked open, and a cold gust of wind greeted her, as if the very house itself was trying to warn her of the impending danger. Ignoring the ominous signs, she stepped inside, her heart pounding in her chest. The air inside the mansion was thick with a heavy silence that suffocated her senses. Shadows danced on the walls, their eerie movements mirroring the twisted secrets the mansion held. As Emily explored the first floor, the temperature dropped, and the faint sound of whispers tickled her ears, whispering words of warning that she struggled to comprehend. Undeterred, Emily ascended the creaking staircase to the second floor. Each step echoed through the mansion, a symphony of dread that amplified her fear. The walls seemed to close in, and she could swear she felt invisible fingers brush against her skin, leaving trails of icy coldness in their wake. The second floor revealed dilapidated rooms, adorned with faded wallpaper and broken furniture. The atmosphere grew increasingly oppressive, and Emily's footsteps were punctuated by the unsettling sound of distant cries. A sense of foreboding clung to her, but she pressed on, her curiosity now intertwined with a growing unease. In the dimly lit corridor of the third floor, Emily's heart quickened. Shadows swirled, taking on monstrous forms that writhed and contorted. Whispers grew louder, their voices a cacophony of madness. The mansion seemed to pulse with a dark energy, as if it was alive and feeding off the fear that permeated its halls. As Emily reached the attic door, a chilling wind rushed past her, extinguishing her flickering flashlight. Darkness enveloped her, and the mansion's presence intensified, suffusing the air with an indescribable evil. With trembling hands, she pushed open the attic door, revealing a scene that plunged her into the depths of terror. The attic was a labyrinth of cobwebs and forgotten relics. The flickering candlelight cast grotesque shadows on the walls, and the stagnant air carried the stench of decay. Whispers twisted and curled, forming a symphony of tormented voices that echoed through Emily's mind, threatening to unravel her sanity. Within the shadows of the attic, Emily caught a glimpse of movement. A figure, clad in tattered rags, emerged from the darkness. Its eyes glowed with an unholy light, and its skeletal hands reached out, beckoning her closer. A voice, laced with malice, slithered into her ears, promising eternal suffering and despair. Frozen with fear, Emily realized the true nature of the mansion's curse. It wasn't just a place haunted by ghosts, it was a gateway to a realm of pure malevolence. The figure in the attic was a conduit for the darkness that permeated every inch of the mansion. With a burst of courage, Emily turned and fled, desperation fueling her every step. The mansion fought back, its walls closing in, its floors cracking beneath her feet. But she pushed forward, her heart pounding in her ears, fueled by a primal instinct to survive. As she burst through the front door, gasping for air, the mansion's facade crumbled, collapsing into a heap of rubble and dust. But the horror was far from over. From the ruins of the mansion, a miasma of darkness arose, swirling and coalescing into a towering, shadowy figure. It loomed over the town, casting a pall of dread upon the once tranquil streets. The curse that had lingered within the mansion now spread its tendrils, infecting the entire town with its insidious presence. Emily watched in horror as the town transformed before her eyes. The buildings decayed, their once vibrant colors turning into a sickly gray. The air grew heavy with a noxious fog, obscuring the sun and plunging the town into perpetual twilight. The once cheerful townsfolk became hollow shells, their eyes vacant and their faces etched with despair. Desperate to break the curse and save the town, Emily sought out the town's wise elder, a woman rumored to possess knowledge of ancient rituals. With trembling hands, Emily pleaded for her guidance, recounting the horrors she had witnessed within the mansion. The elder's face grew solemn as she listened, her eyes filled with a mix of sympathy and resignation. She explained that the curse was no ordinary affliction. It was born from a vengeful spirit that had been wronged centuries ago. The only way to break the curse was to confront the spirit and find a way to appease its wrath. Together, Emily and the elder delved into forgotten texts and ancient manuscripts, piecing together the fragmented history of the vengeful spirit. They discovered a long-forgotten ritual that involved gathering specific items and performing a ceremony within the heart of the cursed town. Armed with this newfound knowledge, Emily embarked on a perilous quest to gather the required items. But as she journeyed through the town, the curse fought back with escalating malevolence. Shadows slithered along the walls, whispering threats and sowing seeds of doubt in Emily's mind. Unseen forces tried to halt her progress, obstructing her path at every turn. Despite the mounting terror, Emily persisted, her determination burning brighter than ever. She faced spectral apparitions that taunted her with her deepest fears and nightmares. The air crackled with a dark energy, threatening to consume her very essence. But she refused to yield, knowing that the fate of the town rested on her shoulders. Finally, on a moonlit night, Emily stood at the center of the cursed town, the items for the ritual arranged before her. The air was thick with an oppressive silence, as if the entire town held its breath, awaiting the outcome of her efforts. She recited the ancient incantation, her voice trembling but filled with unwavering resolve. As the last words left her lips, the ground beneath her trembled, and a spectral figure materialized before her. The vengeful spirit, its eyes filled with a mix of rage and longing, stared directly into Emily's soul. The curse that had plagued the town for centuries hung in the balance, its resolution dependent on Emily's ability to appease the spirit's anguish. With her heart pounding, Emily offered a heartfelt apology, acknowledging the pain and suffering the spirit had endured. She pleaded for forgiveness and vowed to right the wrongs committed in the past. The spirit's form wavered, its ethereal features softening with a flicker of acceptance. In a blinding flash of light, the curse shattered, dispersing like ashes carried away by the wind. The town emerged from its dark slumber, the fog lifting and the buildings regaining their vibrant colors. The townsfolk blinked away the haze of the curse, their eyes filling with recognition and gratitude. Emily, weary but triumphant, had broken the curse that had gripped the town for generations. She became a legend, a symbol of hope and resilience in the face of unimaginable horrors. The townspeople celebrated her as their savior, their hearts overflowing with gratitude and relief. But even in their newfound joy, whispers of the darkness remained. The memory of the cursed mansion and the vengeful spirit lingered in the depths of their consciousness, a cautionary tale passed down from generation to generation. The scars of the ordeal etched themselves into the town's collective memory, a reminder of the fragility of peace and the ever-present shadows that lurked on the fringes of their existence. As years went by, the town thrived, its wounds healing but never forgotten. The mansion remained a crumbling relic, a testament to the horrors that had unfolded within its walls. And while the curse had been broken, there were nights when the wind carried distant echoes of despair, and a chill settled upon the town, serving as a chilling reminder that evil, though subdued, was never truly vanquished. Emily, forever marked by her harrowing journey, dedicated her life to protecting others from the forces of darkness. She became a guardian, traveling far and wide, seeking out haunted places and battling malevolent entities. Her experiences molded her into a beacon of strength, a warrior of light who stood as a bulwark against the encroaching shadows. But even in her victories, Emily knew that the realm of the supernatural was vast and treacherous. The darkness she encountered in the cursed mansion was only a glimpse into the abyss, a mere fragment of the horrors that lurked in the hidden corners of the world. And so she continued her tireless crusade, knowing that true peace could only be achieved through eternal vigilance. And as the years passed, the legend of Emily, the town's savior, spread far and wide. People spoke of her bravery and unwavering resolve, telling tales around campfires and sharing her exploits in hushed whispers. Her name became synonymous with courage and the triumph of the human spirit over the darkest of adversaries. But amidst the admiration and awe, Emily remained haunted by the memories of that cursed mansion. The nightmares still visited her in the darkest hours, reminding her of the terrors she had faced and the sacrifices made to save the town. She carried the weight of those experiences with her, a burden she would bear for the rest of her days. For Emily understood that the world was a tapestry of light and darkness, forever entwined in an eternal struggle. And while she fought to protect others, she knew that the true battle lay within the depths of her own soul, a battle against the fear, the doubt, and the ever-present shadow of the horrors she had faced. And so Emily continued her journey, a solitary figure in an eternal war against the encroaching darkness. Her story, a testament to the indomitable human spirit, would be told for generations to come, a reminder that even in the face of unspeakable horrors, there was always hope, always a flicker of light that could banish the shadows and restore balance to a world teetering on the edge of despair.